Melody Sherry has always appeared strong. No matter what life threw at her, she smiled through it. From the outside, she looked like a woman who had it all together, beautiful, successful, raising her children, building her business, and staying graceful despite the chaos around her. But what fans didn't see was the truth that Melody had been hiding for years. She was silently battling something serious. Something that almost took everything from her. For a long time, people noticed changes in Melody. Some fans commented on her weight loss, others mentioned how she sometimes looked tired. But most people thought it was just the result of stress, or maybe just being a mother and a businesswoman trying to do it all. No one imagined that it was something much deeper. Something life-threatening. Melody first rose to fame through her appearance on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. She became a household name and was admired for her strength, her courage, and her ability to keep moving forward even after going through a messy, public divorce from Martell Holt. Through all the ups and downs of reality TV and real life, Melody kept her head high. But what people didn't know was that while she was dealing with her personal and professional battles, she was also fighting for her health behind closed doors. For years, she visited doctors, had blood tests, and went through medical treatments, without ever speaking publicly about it. She didn't want anyone to know. She didn't want people to feel sorry for her or judge her. So she stayed silent and kept working. Some fans started to worry when Melody began missing events or appeared less energetic on camera. Others noticed how her Instagram Live videos started to include more mentions of her needing rest. She'd say she wasn't feeling her best but would quickly change the subject. When a radio host once asked her if she was okay, she smiled and simply said, "God is good. I'm pressing through." And she really was pressing through, fighting a quiet battle that no one knew about. People close to her now say that Melody had been dealing with symptoms for a long time. She went through periods of pain, exhaustion, and emotional stress, all while trying to protect her children, her brand, and her public image. She wanted to appear strong, not just for her fans, but for her family. Melody knew that as a black woman in the public eye, showing weakness could come at a cost. She didn't want her children to worry, and she didn't want to give people a reason to question her strength. There was one quote from Melody in an old interview that now makes everything clearer. She once said, "I don't really get to fall apart. People expect me to be the blueprint. If I stop, everything stops." That one sentence shows just how much pressure she felt to keep going, even when her body was telling her to slow down. It wasn't about pride, it was about survival. She wanted to protect everyone around her, even if it meant putting herself last, but eventually, her body couldn't keep up. In early 2024, her symptoms started getting worse. What used to be fatigue became total exhaustion. Headaches turned into blackouts. At one point, she even fainted during a business meeting. Her team tried to keep it quiet, saying she was just overworked. But her doctors warned her that if she didn't rest, her condition could get much worse. Still, Melody kept pushing. She didn't want to open herself up to public judgment. Then one night, everything changed. Melody collapsed at home while making dinner for her kids. One of her children had to call a family member for help. That moment changed everything. She realized that she could no longer keep hiding what was happening. No amount of brand deals, Instagram posts, or reality TV appearances were worth risking her life. She had to make a choice, for herself and for her children. A week later, she quietly stepped back from several business ventures. She stopped posting regularly on social media. Fans started noticing her absence. The usual Melody Mondays were missing. Her inspirational posts were no longer popping up. People began asking, "Where is Melody?" And while they waited for answers, Melody was going through one of the hardest periods of her life. By the middle of 2024, Melody finally told her inner circle what was really going on. She had been diagnosed with lupus. Lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease that affects the body's immune system. It can cause severe pain, fatigue, joint issues, rashes, hair loss, and more. It's a lifelong condition that can flare up at any time. For Melody, it explained everything: the fatigue, the unexplained weight loss, the days when she just didn't feel like herself. She had been dealing with all of it in silence. When she finally shared the truth with her fans, it was in the most vulnerable way possible. No makeup. No filters. No fancy backdrop. Just Melody sitting on her couch, telling the world the truth. "I've been hiding something from y'all for a while now," she said. Her voice trembled. She paused, then finally admitted, "I've been diagnosed with lupus." That video shook the internet. Fans flooded her with love, prayers, and support. People from all over shared their own stories of battling lupus. The hashtag #HealingWithMelody started trending, showing just how many people her story had touched. Melody opened up about the impact the illness had on her life. She talked about the sleepless nights, the fevers, the rashes, the hair loss, the memory problems. But most of all, she talked about the crushing fatigue. Even getting out of bed was hard some days. And through it all, she kept going because she didn't want to be seen as weak. She didn't want her kids to worry. But one question from her daughter changed everything. One day, as Melody rested on the couch, her daughter looked at her and asked, "Mommy, are you going to die?" That question broke Melody's heart. It made her realize she could no longer pretend. She had to face the truth and start healing. For real. Her confession wasn't just emotional. It was powerful. It showed strength in a new way. Melody had always been seen as a strong woman because she kept going no matter what. But now, people saw her strength in being honest and vulnerable. She reminded people that asking for help is not weakness. It's strength. She inspired thousands of people who were silently suffering from lupus and other illnesses. She became a symbol of courage and healing. But just when things seemed like they were finally turning around, more drama came her way. Martel Holt, the father of her 4 children, took her to court. He filed for full custody of their kids. Yes, full custody. The news shocked everyone. Fans couldn't believe it. Melody had always been a present, loving, and responsible mother. Even while battling lupus, she continued to prioritize her children. So why would Martel make such a move? According to insiders, Martel's legal team used Melody's illness against her. They claimed that her health made her unfit to take care of the children full-time. Others believed it was a way for Martel to gain control and hurt Melody during her most vulnerable moment. And when it came out that Martel was also asking for child support, fans were outraged. The same man who had been accused of cheating and emotional abuse was now trying to paint himself as the more stable parent. Melody didn't respond with anger, at least not publicly. She leaned on her faith and the people closest to her. But behind closed doors, she was heartbroken. She had spent years fighting for her children, even when she had nothing left. And now, the man she once loved was trying to take them away, just because she was finally being honest about her illness. The court battle was long and painful. Melody had to show proof that she was still a capable mother. She presented medical documents, school records, and letters from teachers to prove that her children were doing well. Her legal team also brought up Martel's history, including the emotional toll he had taken on the family. During one hearing, Melody reportedly had to describe moments of emotional and physical intimidation she had experienced during their relationship. The courtroom was silent. Her words cut deep. In the end, the judge ruled for joint custody, but Melody kept primary physical custody. She had won. But it didn't feel like a victory. The legal battle had left her more exhausted than ever. What hurt the most was that it had to happen at all. That the father of her children would try to use her illness as a weapon. Still, Melody did what she always does. She kept moving. She kept healing. She took the pain, the judgment, the battles, and she turned them into purpose. With her health journey now public and custody secured, Melody began focusing on her next chapter. She started connecting more deeply with fans who were going through similar struggles. She began working on ways to raise awareness about lupus. And through it all, she stayed true to herself, vulnerable, honest, and strong in a new way. Melody's story is not just about a health scare. It's about survival. It's about what it means to be strong, not just in the way people expect, but in a deeper, more human way. She showed that even the strongest people need rest. Even the most inspiring figures have breaking points. But what makes them truly powerful is the ability to rise again, with honesty, with courage, and with love. Now, as she rebuilds her life, Melody continues to share her journey. She's taking time for her health, her children, and her peace. She's learning to rest. To say no. To protect her space. She's no longer pretending. And in doing so, she's become more inspiring than ever before.